yourself, hey, my future matters enough. Frankie, if you're going to keep that up, I'm just going to get rid of you because you're stopping Diego from learning. And I want him to learn. Get your arm off Diego's desk, right? Come on, just think about what you should do. You're very bright. You can figure this out. You either put it together or you suffer. You got a big test this Friday. There are some of you guys who might pass, might fail for the marking period. Could go either way. Friday's going to have a lot to do with how that happens. You know, we could fast forward to the end of the year, and it's time for determine who goes to summer school and who doesn't go to summer school. And some of you will look at me with this complete look of bewilderment on your face, complete shock, and go, "What do you mean? Oh, come on, Mr. Lindquist, please pass me, please. Oh, come on, just a few points. Come on, Mr. Lindquist, do me a solid here, pass me." And I'm like, "You got your shot to pass right now. It's here, if it's enough. You got your shot right here, right now to pass. But you want to laugh and you want to joke and you don't want to do work." Yes?
How many quarters do you have to fail to go to
It all depends by how much. Like, for instance, if you pass 3 of them and you get 65, 68, 70, and you fail 1 with a 50, you're going to summer school. But if you fail 60, 60, 60, and you pass 1 with an 80, you're not going to summer school.
What?
It's all the average of the quarters. The average overall has to be 65 or higher, plus the final exam. The final exam counts a little bit less than a marking period. So you kind of have 5 things that go in there, and generally speaking, you need generally to pass 3 out of the 5, at least 2. Very hard to do if you don't pass at least 2. Okay, here is the quiz answers, or here are the quiz answers. Ready? What's this equation? The good news is just about everybody knew what they were looking at, but you know what a lot of people forgot to put? The x. Can't forget that x. It's y equals mx plus b. You can't forget the x. The good news is people realized the y-intercept was 2, and the slope was up 1 over 3. So that looked really, really good. As far as finding the slope goes, we need to be better, but it wasn't a complete disaster. Slope formula. Y from the second point minus y from the first over x from the second minus x from the first. Then what I turn around and do is I label one of the points 1 and 2, and I start plugging them. Here's the y from the second point, there's the 4, minus the y from the first, there's 0. X from the second, -1, minus x from the first 2. Again, you can do it in the opposite order. Answer works out the same. Just got to make sure the y's are on top, x's are on the bottom. Sometimes we all mess that up. Even to this day, every once in a while I mess that up. And a handful of you, maybe 2 or 3 of you, messed that up and put the 3's on top. A couple of people messed up, didn't put the negative sign. Okay. We did pretty well on number 3, and you guys knew to check the coordinates. B works. I put it under C. I really should have put it under B. But B is the one that works. If you plug in a 2 and a -1, it does check. This one we got beat up on, and this is the contents of today's lesson. So when we hit the lesson in about a minute, strongly suggest you pay a lot of attention because very few people got this question right today. On Monday, a cookie jar has 29 cookies in it. Each day, Mr. Lindquist eats 3 cookies. Write a function rule to explain how many cookies are left on any given day. So it says f of x is the function rule, so I have to write f of x equals. Some of you guys forgot to do that. A function rule is always something equals. In this case, it says write a rule for f of x. So I have to write f of x equals. Now, don't I start with 29 cookies and every day I take 3 away? Yeah. So that's the 29. Take away 3, and some people just wrote 3. 3x because x is for every day. The first day I take away 3. The second day I take away another 3 for 6 total. So 3 times 2 is 6. The third day another 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And so on and so forth. Or you can write it like mx plus b. The rate of change or the slope is -3, and the y-intercept is 29. So you could do f of x equals -3x plus 29. Okay, any questions? No. All right, so tomorrow is day 2 on the quiz, and hopefully we're looking pretty good as far as all of that goes. All right, I want to get to a lot of work with function rules. We don't have a lot of time left in class because of the lack of focus we had going. So I am going to skip to do it, something I almost never do, but I'm going to do it today. And we'll get started on this particular work here. Hopefully tomorrow I won't have to remind you of just how important it is to stay focused. Okay, which of the following are not functions? And I'm also going to want to draw a picture for this. I can tell you that on the test that you're going to take on Friday, you have a question exactly like this. You have a question just like this on the test that you're going to take Friday. It says, which of the following are not functions? If you remember, we look for the x to repeat. 1, 5, 7. They're all different. Yes, it's a function. I come over here, 1, 2, 3. They're all different. Yes, it's a function. If I graph them, this is not a function because it fails the vertical line test. It touches twice. And the other way to see something that's not a function is when the x repeats here. The x can repeat as the first part of the coordinates, or it can repeat in the table. Anytime it repeats, it's not a function. So these last two, not functions. The first two were. I just put them in there, and I wanted you to realize that because one of the x terms repeats, it's not a function. I could have made this a 7, come down here, and made this another 2, and it would not be a function again, because this time the 2's repeat. Okay? All right, so now we write function rules. Okay? Now, these are all linear functions. Remember what we said the other day, linear? What does linear mean? Line. Looks like a line when you graph it. Now, a line has a slope, and that slope never changes. There's a constant rate of change. Remember we drew the parabola, and we showed you how the slope changes in a parabola? But it doesn't change in a line. Now, to find the slope, all I have to do is pick any 2 points. And then I do the y minus the y over the x minus the x. So I'm going to do 5 minus 3 over 1 minus 0. What's 5 minus 3, everybody? 2. And what's 1 minus 0? 1. So that's how we find the slope, or also known as the rate of change. All the same thing. So there's the slope, there's the rate of change. The last thing we have to remember is how to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept, if I graph it, it's where it crosses the y-axis. But in a table, where it crosses the y-axis is whatever pairs with 0. How do I find the y-intercept? Whatever pairs with 0. And I say pairs with 0, but I mean when the x is 0. Okay? So what's the y-intercept here? 3. So remember, this is the slope. That's the y-intercept. My answer is y equals 2x plus 3. That's my function rule, y equals 2x plus 3. You guys try the next table right here. See what you come up with. Give it a shot. I'll go over it with you in just a minute. Is this yours? Okay, so we just said about the slope that what I want to do is I can pick any 2 points. So I'll pick, why is that? Pick any 2 points, so let's pick these 2. Doesn't matter which 2, I can pick the top and the bottom of the chart. It's going to work the same either way. Slope is the change in y, in this case that's the p column, over the change in x, which is the t column. So I get 150 minus 50 over 25 minus 0. What's 150 minus 50? 100. And what's 25 minus 0?
Please pardon the interruption due to the impending storm. All after-school activities have been canceled.
Yes.
All after-school activities have been canceled.
Okay,
Please be sure to take your bus home if you're a bus student. Thank you.
so 100 divided by 25 is 4. Okay? Hey, shh, listen, stop, focus. Slope is equal to 4. How do I find the y-intercept by looking at the graph or the table? Alex?
Whatever matches 0.
Whatever pairs up with 0. Very good. So the slope is 4. So remember, in general, I get y equals mx plus b. In this case, I get y equals 4x plus 50. Look at all the ones we didn't get to, guys. Yeah, sure. Are you talking about you specifically? All right, there is no way on God's green earth that that will ever happen, because